secrets that come out of red velvet bags. Well, that is something. Tell me, are you a collector of scientific instruments?
No, I'm not. It's just by chance that I've got it.
Just by accident, or did you buy it?
I changed it with something else because I liked it, because it was so interesting.
It's what we call a compendium. That's a scientific instrument where you've got more than one particular device in the same box. And here we have, on the top, we have a lunar and solar calendar dial. Inside, we have a universal equinoctial sundial, which opens up and sets for the various latitudes. In the base is a compass. And here in the lid, we've got the latitudes of various towns, which you would use to set up the dial. Now, I reckon this probably dates from the end of the 16th century or the beginning of the 17th century. And it comes from South Germany. But unfortunately, it has had a very, very hard life. And the whole piece has been completely re-gilded. So this, what we're looking at here, the gold work, is actually done, I would think, fairly recently, in the last 20 years anyway. And what I don't like very much, I have to say, is that the scale on the bottom of this dial here, if you look, there seems to be signs of some other engraving on a separate ring that was on the inside. So it's obviously been modified. There was a particular German maker called Schissler who specialized in these, and they make very large sums of money indeed. But the market is very small. And once they've been altered and repaired and re-gilded, there's very few collectors who will pay the proper price for something like this in this condition. So I'm afraid I have to tell you, the good news is you didn't pay anything for it. The bad news is that whereas it could have been an instrument worth 50, 60, even 50, 60,000 pounds if it had been by Schissler, I'm afraid we're looking here at perhaps a couple of £1,000 at best.
It's quite high anyway, I think.
It came to my family about 20 years ago, and my mother and father bought it in Landskrona, it's a little city here in Skåne, and they paid about 600-700 crowns. And the art collector told them that the painting came from England, and it came to Sweden during the Second World War. That's all I know.
Well, that's interesting because it was probably painted during the First World War.
Oh, I see.
This rather scrawly signature is that of an artist called Arthur Hacker.
Arthur Hacker.
Yes, who was born in 1858 and was studied in London at the Royal Academy Schools and then went to Paris, and therefore was one of that new generation of plein air painters. And here we have a very English plein air painting. In other words, he's using all the sort of post-impressionist colours and light, but with pure glazes, which really comes out of the Pre-Raphaelites. And that is how Arthur Hacker paints. He uses these pure glazes on a white ground. So you get these glowing colours. But his light is pure impressionist. Just a very beautiful, charming example, not cleaned, and I hope that if this painting ever is cleaned, it's cleaned by a great expert. Because when you have these pure glazes, especially colours like green, if a slightly rough restorer cleans them, they are what we call fugitive. They will disappear like that. So you need a very sensitive restorer to clean them. Well, the value of this is quite a lot more than, of course, than you paid for it. It's very fashionable, this sort of painting, this period of painting at the moment, especially in England. And I would say that it's worth somewhere in the region of 60 to 100,000 krona. 6 to 10,000 pounds.
Dear. We had no idea at all.